The news with Gary Liberatore.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist here at Gage.
And we begin this morning with pictures of a funnel cloud from yesterday over in Rome.
Yeah, we were keeping our eye to the sky yesterday, and based off of radar signatures and the pictures submitted to us, yes, there was a funnel cloud. In fact, you can see right there, there's that little dip down. Again, it's not a tornado, so there's no damage on the ground. It wasn't causing any concern, but it goes to show you that these rotating storms had the potential of producing those tornadoes. So let's take a look at what we can expect today. No tornadoes. In fact, happy first day of summer, and it's shaping up a little cooler compared to the past few days. Humidity drops a little bit today, and the sun will peek out. It will be a little windy, though, I will give you that, but it won't feel quite like summer this morning. We do have some lingering rain showers across the area early today. They're light, they're drizzly, but still, we'll watch when these rain showers end, and we'll see that sunshine slowly move in as we head into this afternoon. Temperatures will be peaking in the low 70s today, with sunshine moving in. A pleasant evening. By tonight, we're going to see a few rain showers pass over us, and the weekend will favor just as much sunshine as it would with some rain chances, even overnight storm chances. So we're going to track the latest on that with all the latest information for that weekend forecast coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Rome Mayor Jeff Lanigan has been...
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Welcome back to Sunrise. Happy Friday. Happy first day of summer. And after several days of warmth and humidity, today, well, actually, it's going to be a little bit on the cooler side and not really as humid. Let's take a look, though, what you're dealing with when you head out to work this morning. You've got green across the board for much of central New York. I do want to point out on our traffic system, there was an accident reported just to the west of Boonville along 294. This was reported around 10:44 last night. Our system still says the road is closed. There's been no update so far. So just a heads up, if you're heading in that route today, be on the lookout if there was still a road closure. But again, this took place last night. Likely, if this was something minor, it should be open very soon, if not already open. A look at the rest of the area. You can see damp roadways across central New York early today, and some lingering rain showers. That's the focus this morning, is that although we're tracking sunshine this afternoon, you're going to deal with some light rain to start your day. So maybe keep that umbrella around for this morning drizzle. Sunshine by this afternoon, and high temperatures climb into the low to mid 70s. Gary?
Eric, thanks. SpaceX engineer.
One question for you. Did you get your ticket yet?
The Oneonta Cam is brought to you by Semicron Danfoss. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. Happy first day of summer. It will be the longest day of the year. I know starting today the days get shorter, but until roughly late July and early August, our days will still get warmer. Let's take a look at what we can expect today. First off, the summer solstice actually doesn't begin this morning. It begins at 10:42 tonight. So I guess off a technicality, this sunrise is still the final sunrise of spring, but we'll just forget about that. It makes it really complicated. Either way, 15 hours and 22 minutes of daylight today. Now, some of that daylight is obstructed by light rain and clouds to start your day. As you can see here, downtown Utica right now, I got some low-lying clouds. There were some peaks of blue sky here and there, but either way, temperatures to start your day in the upper 50s. A very windy start as well. It's going to be a blustery, cooler day, but cooler being relative to what we saw yesterday and on Wednesday with highs in the low 70s. So here's that wraparound rainfall from the back end of that low pressure that brought us those isolated storms and downpours yesterday. Now, by this afternoon, that's going to push its way east, and we'll see some sunshine move in for the remainder of the day today. So the weekend forecast, we're going to be hit or miss when it comes to shower activity. This is by no means a washout of a weekend, but we can't say it's entirely dry either, and I'll show you why here. So here's that low pressure, as I mentioned. It's pushing its way to the east. And then we're going to have this wobbly stationary front over us over the next couple of days. And that's going to surge in some rain showers in the early morning tomorrow, in the evening Saturday night, and then into Sunday, we dry out with more showers and potential storms arriving later on Sunday night. So you can see, of course, that sun moving in this afternoon, low to mid 70s, still very breezy out, but dry. Tonight, we're going to see those clouds work their way in, an isolated shower turning to sunshine by the afternoon, and highs pushing the low 80s by 5 p.m. Saturday night, we're watching this here. Now, this is one model run there. You can see how that dark red, I'm going to put a pause there, that'll push over us, and Sunday morning, some lingering showers and thunderstorms that do end with some sunshine by the afternoon and highs in the mid-80s. So the weekend, again, it's not entirely dry, but not really a washout. By next week, though, that heat is in full force. Still expecting 90s with high heat and humidity. So we're going to feel that summertime heat in only a few days.
At least it's only 2 alert days, right?
Yeah, it's still very warm, though.
Yeah. Eric, thanks. The time right now is 5:22. Still ahead on joining us for this half hour. I'm Gary Liberatore. If you are heading out this morning, get ready for some wind. That's right, Eric. It's also a little cooler than the past couple of mornings as well, right?
Yeah, cooler, a little more damp, and yes, blustery out there when you head out to your car. Hold on to your hat. We got that northwesterly wind kicking in, but it's also going to dry out this afternoon. Happy first day of summer, everybody. Today's forecast will be in the low 70s with sunshine by the afternoon. We just got to get through this morning rain and cloud cover first. A look at the radar, you can actually see some of this rainfall early today. We're not tracking anything severe today, so no alerts, no nothing. You don't have to be weather aware today, but actually be more weather aware for the sunshine this afternoon. We're looking at the upper 50s to low 60s early today, climbing into the low 70s this afternoon with sunshine again moving in. Quiet weather, less humidity, but not completely gone just yet. We are looking at a pretty warm weekend with storm potential in the early morning to overnight hours here and there. There is one storm system, though, I want to keep a very close eye on. We're going to talk about that as we head into Saturday night. A more detailed forecast in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Amid fresh airstrikes between
One question for you. Did you get your ticket yet?
The Oneonta Camp is brought to you by Semicron Danfoss.
Welcome back. Happy first day of summer. Now, I know you just saw there it's cloudy, it's damp out, but don't worry, we'll see some more sunshine this afternoon. Still, the radar picking up on that light rain within the next few hours. This low pressure, which is causing this light rain, is going to continue to move its way east, and then eventually, once it shifts east, we'll see some dry weather begin to move in from the west. A look at our photo of the day today with all the active weather yesterday. There was a great shot submitted to us from downtown Utica, from Wynn Hospital, taken by Leah, of a rainbow with a storm in the distance. Amazing shot right there over the city. And if you have a photo of a rainbow you'd like to share with us, a storm cloud, a sunset. I know there's a very vibrant sunset yesterday. Send it to WKTV.com/weather/pics. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Fatty liver disease is estimated to affect up to 100 million adults in the U.S., but many have no idea that they have it. Here's Mandy Gaither with more.
In 2001, at the age of 45, Pam Miller went in for gastric bypass surgery.
It's finally going to get rid of all the weight that I had because I weighed nearly 300 pounds then.
But she says that surgery was aborted. There was a major problem with her liver, and she had...
Most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. Happy first day of summer. Now, yesterday we were watching the radar closely. We were not expecting any of the significant severe weather that was going to be moving out east of us, but the environment was capable of producing rotating storms. In the case here, sent in to us by Julie Wilson, you can see in the distance what we can identify based off of the radar data and all that stuff is a funnel cloud. Now, these can form with rotating storms regardless. Now, it officially becomes a tornado when that funnel cloud reaches the ground, but it didn't. Now, this is the case with some of these storms ahead of cold fronts, and that was the case yesterday. So on days like yesterday where we aren't really in alert mode, but we're just keeping a close eye on the radar, just make sure you have tools like our Storm Tracker 2 app that can notify you of when things like that wind up reaching the ground, because then we can detect the debris and those warnings would be issued. Live look at Utica right now, still lingering clouds, but you see that blue sky out in the distance. We'll see a lot more of that blue this afternoon compared to the early morning rain. Either way, it's blustery out there. It's still slightly muggy, but nowhere near as humid as it was yesterday and on Wednesday. So here's that wraparound rainfall on the radar and satellite here. It's pushing its way east. And as it exits, will dry out tonight. Early this evening, we'll see some early morning rain showers Saturday, afternoon sunshine. There's going to be some overnight storms Saturday night into Sunday, and this is what I want to keep a close eye on. So watch what happens here. We've got this front that somewhat wobbles back and forth, a stationary front here. But right here, this is called an MCS, and if you watched our weather segments last year, you notice that some of our most impactful weather events of last year were caused by MCSs. Now, here's the thing with these things. They are very unpredictable, but if they do move in, they could pack a punch. Saturday night, we're going to watch this. Biggest concern would be some strong winds, and I'll show you here in the Skycast what I mean by it. And as we head into Saturday night into Sunday, once the system passes, our risk for that severe weather does end. Either way, just quickly today, sunshine, temperatures in the 70s. Tonight, maybe some light rain and sprinkles heading into Saturday morning. But here, look at this. This is some pretty intense rainfall and wind. So again, if this does form, there's no doubt about it, it could produce some pretty strong wind gusts, but there's just uncertainty as to if it forms and where it sets up, because these are very unpredictable events. But just a heads up for Saturday night, we're going to closely watch the data coming in this afternoon for it. But again, it does happen overnight and not during the daytime. It does dry out by Sunday afternoon, and then it does heat up by Monday and Tuesday in the 90s.
Definitely something to keep an eye out over the next couple of days.
Yes.
Eric, thanks. Well, when the recent trade war with
Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Friday. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And we begin with that picture of that funnel cloud over in Rome last night. A pretty scary scene.
Yeah, we were right on the fringe of severe weather, and this is what happens. You get something close to a tornado, but not quite one.
Luckily,
and, yeah, and that was the case. You can actually see that right there. There's the dip down, and there's that funnel cloud. And we were able to confirm it because when we take a look at the radar scans from yesterday, this is what we determined as weak rotation. And it's something we watch when we see these storms moving, especially in an environment like yesterday where those storms could begin to rotate. And a reminder that these storms can rotate. Not every rotating storm drops a tornado. So if we talk about those are just simply called supercell storms. And those are the ones that we always look out for because we can predict those tornadoes dropping well in advance. Those embedded tornadoes in those lines of storms are what gets more difficult. That's what took place in Rome of last year, which is why you couldn't see the tornado. It was embedded in that rain shower. So back to the current forecast. Happy first day of summer. It doesn't quite feel like summer out there this morning, though. We got some lingering light rain and temperatures in the upper 50s, but we've got some sunshine on the way. It's going to take a little bit this morning, but by this afternoon, the sun moves in and temperatures climb into the low to mid 70s. It will be a bit of a breezy day today. Can't lie for that. But as we head into the next few days, the wind will slowly weaken and we will see warmer temperatures. But we have to keep a close eye on a system moving in Saturday night. We have the latest on what is called an MCS. I'll explain what that is and what the concern is with it in that full forecast. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Rome Mayor Jeff Lanigan has been charged.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Welcome back to Sunrise. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy first day of summer. And at least this morning, well, it doesn't quite feel like summer out there so far. It's a little cool. We've got some rain and some clouds, but that'll shift as we head into this afternoon. Our traffic tracker picking up on mainly green across the board, meaning normal traffic conditions. Again, I do want to give you guys a heads up. Those of you up near Boonville heading out to Route 294, an accident was reported around 10:44 last night. There has been no update as to whether the road has been opened yet. So still just a heads up if you're heading that direction, just make sure you're aware of a potential accident there. But again, it took place at 10:44 last night. So when it comes to the road conditions today, a little bit damp out there, light mist to start your day from this low pressure system that's exiting to our east. So today, light drizzle and mostly cloudy skies. This afternoon, we will see some more sunshine, breezy conditions, and highs in the low 70s. Gary?
Eric, thanks. SpaceX engineers are investigating.
Tune in for the Storm Tracker 2 Commutecast, brought to you by Munson. Visit Munson today and ignite curiosity and creativity. Visiting Munson and the Storm Tracker 2 Commutecast, both free and both Utica's very own. Remember, all roads lead to Munson.
When you can't make it to Bremer's, you can make Bremer's come to you with same-day delivery.
The Oneonta Cam is brought to you by Semicron Danfoss. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. Happy first day of summer. Well, technically, we don't actually enter summertime until 10:42. In fact, let's take a look at some of the information here on the summer solstice. So, of course, it's the longest day of the year, and well, it is the longest day of the year. Actually, the stretch of the solstice will continue throughout the weekend because the difference of the days are roughly the same. Either way, 15 hours, 22 minutes of daylight. The sunrise at 5:21 this morning. The sun won't set until 8:45 tonight. So, welcome to summertime today. Now, we look outside, well, it might not seem quite like summer just yet. We got clouds, you got rain, breezy conditions, but still, this is going to turn a lot more on the sunny side this afternoon. Upper 50s, 20-mile-an-hour wind. Very blustery out there early today. But, of course, again, these winds will subside a little bit as we head throughout the afternoon. This low pressure exits to the east. We'll see this ridge bring in some sunshine for the remainder of the day today. And then as we look out to our west, this will be our next weather maker as we approach the weekend. Speaking of the weekend, here's our official forecast. We got some morning light rain Saturday, followed by some afternoon sunshine. So far, no changes to that forecast so far. Same thing, overnight showers and storms Sunday, at least Saturday night into Sunday, followed by partly cloudy skies in the afternoon. I want to focus on these overnight storms heading into Saturday because this is something we have to keep a very close eye on. So we've got this front that turns somewhat wobbly heading into Saturday, and some system could actually move along that front, including this right here. Now, if you follow our meteorology lessons here scattered throughout the year, this is an MCS, mesoscale convective system. It basically is an organized cluster of thunderstorms, and these are things we have to take very seriously, especially Saturday night into Sunday, level 2 out of 5 risk for severe weather. If this does form and moves into our area, we've got to keep a very close eye on strong wind gusts. Now, the difficulty in forecasting this, of course, it's very uncertain. It's very unpredictable where it forms. It behaves on its own. It's not really following any rules, and that's difficulty in forecasting these systems. But because the potential is there, we'll keep a close eye on Saturday night into Sunday. Make sure you have ways to remain weather aware during that time too. But again, today's sunshine, temperatures in the upper 60s, low 70s. Here comes those showers and storms Saturday night. You can see it right here. This Boeing moving down, heavy rain, even some winds. But again, some of the data showing this just staying to our north. So lack of predictability, that's our thing we're combating Saturday night. Either way, what's predictable is that warm weather moving in next week, Monday and Tuesday. We got 90s, high humidity. The feels like temperature possibly reaching 100 degrees on Monday. So it's going to be very warm and very humid, and it's finally summertime.
Yeah, definitely busy in the Weather Center over the next few days. Eric, thanks. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us. And thank you for joining us for this half hour. I'm Gary Liberatore, and if you are heading out this morning, get ready for some windy conditions. And Eric, as we mentioned earlier, it's also a little cooler than we've seen the past couple of mornings.
Oh, easily, yeah. We're looking at upper 50s, low 60s to start your day. Noticeably cooler and less humid compared to, say, Wednesday and Thursday. But happy first day of summer. We take a look at the forecast today. Despite the cool and blustery conditions early today, it's going to shift into a sunnier and slightly warmer afternoon in the low 70s. So although it doesn't quite seem like summertime just yet, it will appear a little differently in the next few hours. The radar, here's that light drizzle taking place over parts of the central New York area here. No heavy rain reported so far. And overall temperatures hovering in the upper 50s to low 60s. A lot more sunshine as you head down into the southern tier in the Finger Lakes area. And again, we'll see more of what's happening over here into central New York once that low pressure moves east. So today, high temperatures climbing into the low to mid 70s. Sunshine moves in, still a little blustery. We're tracking sunshine, warmth, as well as shower and storm chances heading into the weekend. We're going to time it all out for you and have the latest on a concerning system that could arrive Saturday night in that full forecast. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Amid fresh airstrikes between Israel.
Channel 2 is brought to you by Holland Farms Bakery in Delhi. The Oneonta Cam is brought to you by Semicron Danfoss.
Wow, what a shot of the sunrise there in Oneonta. Good morning, everybody. Our photo of the day today takes us to Utica, not too far from our studios here on Smith Hill. Before we get to that, though, I do want to show the radar signal right now, which is indicating that light rain falling. This rain will end and sunshine will slowly move in. So you might catch, if you get the right angle this morning, potentially a rainbow, like the rainbow that was caught yesterday from our photo submitter, Leah. This was taken at Wynn Hospital with some storms in the background and that faint half rainbow there in the distance. Amazing shot right there. And if you have a photo like this you'd like to share with us, you can send it to WKTV.com/weather/pics. Gary?
And that picture shows just how gorgeous the views are from each room over at Wynn.
Oh, it's beautiful scenery of Utica.
That's for sure. Eric, thanks. Well, fatty liver disease.
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everybody. We are looking at a cool and rainy start to your first day of summer, but don't worry, we'll see some sunshine coming up in a few hours. I do want to showcase, though, a photo sent in to us from Julie of a funnel cloud in Rome. We were able to verify this as a funnel cloud based off of radar scans here. And I just wanted to mention, especially on days like yesterday, we were talking all day long yesterday about the risk for storms, but it was on our doorstep. This is what we mean by it. The storm is trying to form a tornado. If this hit the ground, it would be a tornado, but it didn't, so it's just a funnel cloud. These rotating storms have the ability to do this, but it takes a lot of strength to be able to actually form tornadoes with these storms here. So anytime we mention days like yesterday where it's not an alert day, but we're still keeping our guard up, that's the reason why. Downtown Utica, generally cloudy to start your day today. Temperatures in the low 60s. Still very windy out this morning and still slightly muggy. That humidity has dropped. It's not very low, but it's noticeably lower than the past few days. Radar and satellites picking up on that backside of that low pressure, dragging in some rainfall. Following this, in the next couple of hours, we will see more sunshine and more dry weather. But as we head into the weekend, we're not expecting a 100% dry weekend. Matter of fact, there will be some opportunity for rain and storms both days. Some morning drizzle Saturday, drying out in the late morning and early afternoon. As we head into Saturday night, though, overnight, we're going to keep our close eye on some storms that move over us. And here's the reason why. This low pressure exits to our east, and we got this frontal boundary here to our west. And right here, that moves its way south and east. This is called an MCS, a mesoscale convective system. If you watched our newscast last year, we covered some of the most impactful weather in our area from things that were created by MCSs, basically just a conglomeration of thunderstorms in an organized manner. And in this case, Saturday night, level 2 out of 5 risk for severe weather. This would be higher, except there's a lot of uncertainty as to whether it will even form. So just laying out the transparency for you guys, this system is going to form. The path of it is where the uncertainty lies. It could stay north, but if it shifts south, that's where things could get a little dicey. Either way, just remain weather aware. We're going to closely follow this potential as we head throughout the weekend. Today, sunshine, low 70s. Tonight, looking mainly quiet. And then here comes those light rain showers early Saturday morning. We dry out, and then by Saturday night, again, this is the system we're watching right here, the potential for some strong wind gusts and heavier downpours. But that's the southernmost extent of it as of this time. We're going to keep a very close eye on the data coming in later this morning as well as this evening, because, of course, if it comes overnight, that's our biggest concern. People are in bed. In the meantime, you've got overnight strong storms coming through. So either way, heat next week. It'll be very warm.
Keep an eye on it over the next couple of days. Eric, thanks. Well, on the recent trade wars.
With Gary Liberatore.
Good Friday afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric
And
Gage.
you are closely watching two things, a potential storm tomorrow night and that heat wave that's coming, right?
Yeah, pretty busy stretch looking ahead. And first off, let's talk about first the weekend and that storm potential. Let's take a look at that weekend forecast here and just quickly going over the timing of this. So this weekend, it's not going to be a washout. We're going to have some rain showers, light rain and clouds early Saturday. That sunshine moves in throughout the afternoon. It's the evening and overnight Saturday we have to keep a very close eye on with the potential for some strong storms. Now, as I mentioned, similar to yesterday, wasn't really a slam dunk, similar to this, but this type of system has a very high potential of turning storms severe. So it's why we're keeping a close eye on it. Sunday, those storms whisk away and we'll see sunshine in the afternoon and very high humidity as those temperatures reach the mid-80s and they continue to climb by next week. So again, today, if you're not a fan of the heat, well, you got one relief day here. It's 63 right now in Oneonta with cloudy skies and a few areas of patchy drizzle. Otherwise, we're going to see those temperatures slowly climb into the low 70s by this afternoon. Closer to the evening, you will see some sunshine. We just got these stubborn clouds in the early afternoon. But by tonight, again, things look relatively quiet. A few spotty showers move into the area. And again, we're going to detail about that storm system Saturday night, as well as that upcoming heat next week in that full forecast. Gary?
Eric, thanks. And Governor Hochul says New York.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon on this Friday, first day of summer. Well, not quite summer-like feel out there, but there are some peaks of sunshine. In fact, moments ago, Cooperstown got some sunshine. Of course, as I'm directing the view of it right now, then of course the sunshine goes away. Either way, it's 65 out there. It's not too bad out. It is blustery, it's windy, but there could be worse days. Either way, radar and satellite picking up on a relatively quiet area here across the state. Yes, maybe some lingering drizzle, but much of the activity stays to our west and to our north and east. We look at the bigger picture here because I want to stress more on what's happening this weekend on top of what's happening next week when it comes to both that storm potential and that heat. So let's begin with this weekend. We start out, this low pressure moves its way east. It remains dry until the early morning hours tomorrow. Watch this stationary front right here. It's going to wobble north and south a little bit, and this is going to act as a road for a system to drive on. This system happens to be what's called an MCS, mesoscale convective system. Why am I mentioning the name of it? Well, because this same type of system caused the tornado outbreaks last year. Now, I'm not trying to hype up something like this, but I am trying to explain the risks of something like this with as careful of language as I possibly can. This system, if it behaves like what it does here in the model, can bring in some very strong winds into our area Saturday night into Sunday. This bowing taking place here is something that alarms me. But again, I want to clarify, this is not something that's expected to happen. This is going to form, but it could move farther north. It could stay farther to our north and west and weaken before it reaches us. There's a lot of moving parts here, but because of the risks, I'd rather share it and hope my forecast busts than not share it at all. Here's the risk for Saturday night to Sunday. Yellow zone, level 2 out of 5. The reason for this slight risk and not higher is because of the uncertainty of it happening. But if it does, just make sure you have a way to get weather alerts, even if this happens overnight. Download the Storm Tracker 2 app right there below me. You can scan with your phone with a QR code. It'll give you warnings of thunderstorms, severe thunderstorms directly to your phone. So today, it's cloudy. We got some sunshine in the evening. It's a somewhat unsettled start Saturday. The sunshine moves in the afternoon, and again, here's what happens Saturday night, and that round of rain and winds roll through the area. So again, we're going to closely watch this as the days get closer. Obviously, tomorrow morning, this evening, we'll have more data coming in. Then Sunday, the storms and showers end. It's going to be sunny by the afternoon, but my goodness, is it going to be humid, Gary? We're talking mid-70 dew points, which in this field is about as high as they get. It's going to be soupy air.
Oh, my.
And it's going to continue to warm up by next week. So hopefully no outages with this system, because that's another story to talk about when it comes to the heat.
Definitely need to be careful.
Yes.
That's for sure. Eric, thanks. Now to a story out of Rochester. And welcome back. We begin this half hour with the weather. And Eric, a very busy time for you over in the Weather Center.
Yeah, we're tracking not only the heat next week, we're keeping a close eye on some storms that move in Saturday night. In fact, let's take a look at that weekend forecast, because although here on paper you look at these two icons and it tells a story but doesn't tell the full story. Overnight storms, Saturday night into Sunday, what we're focusing on right here. But before we get to that, though, again, it starts out with some light rain and clouds Saturday. The sun moves in the afternoon. You have any afternoon plans Saturday, it's going to dry up by then. But by the late evening, timing a bit uncertain. Between 7 and 9, some of these data sets show us, or even as far late as 3 a.m. That's quite a difference. And again, I know it seems like there's just this broad area of uncertainty, but that's the case with these types of systems. And the storms, they end and sunshine moves in Sunday, but either way, the focus is on what's called an MCS, a mesoscale convective system, and the potential strong winds that could accompany it. So we'll dive into that coming up in a few minutes, but still, just right now, it's cloudy, it's cool. a bit of a relief in the humidity temporarily. We're going to see that heat and humidity turn into full force by late this weekend and the start of next week. But for now, enjoy the mainly dry weather, cooler temperatures, and sunshine that will move in this evening with highs in the low 70s. Again, we're having a detailed look at that storm potential this weekend and what's to come following it, especially that heat in that full forecast. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Meanwhile, Hurricane Eric, with a K, caused some widespread destruction in southwest Mexico. The powerful storm made landfall Thursday, uprooting trees and damaging homes and flooding many streets. So far, no deaths have been reported. According to Mexico's National Civil Protection Coordination, the storm reached a Category 3 before making landfall and has disrupted infrastructure across the region, affecting major roadways and causing more than 100,000 power outages. Israel and Iran once again.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon. Hasn't quite felt like summer so far, despite the name here today. It's been a little cool, it's been a little breezy, and even some rain to start your day. Live look in Cooperstown. Outside, still not stopping any of the baseball fans from enjoying Cooperstown today. It's very busy. It's not too bad out there. It's in the mid-60s with cloudy skies, a few peaks of sunshine. Either way, much of New York State remains mostly dry at this hour. As we turn the page this weekend, though, this is where things might get a little bit on the stormy side. Let's take a look here. So when we head into Saturday, after some morning clouds and rain, it does dry up. And by Saturday afternoon, pretty nice. Overall, not too bad temperature-wise. By Saturday evening, I want to focus on what's going on right here. You see this line? It's called a stationary front. It's where two air masses collide and they don't really move. In that process, it creates a road for systems to drive along. In this case, you see this rain band right here. This is called an MCS, mesoscale convective system, fancy word for an organized cluster of thunderstorms. Point being, this is going to glide along that front and then push its way either north of us or directly into central New York. Why is that a concern? Well, these systems are what drive our biggest severe weather events here locally. Even last year, the biggest tornado outbreaks here locally were because of MCSs. There's a lot of shear, change in wind speed and direction with altitude in these systems, and that's what drives these rotating winds in the atmosphere. Either way, this bowing is something you never really want to see in these models here. So I'm mentioning the risks here: strong, potentially damaging winds, heavy rain, and the typical risks of storms. Why is this only level 2 out of 5 risk for severe weather? Well, with MCSs, they are hard to forecast. That's the transparency here. Being very blunt here to say this, we don't know if it's going to hit us. It's going to move through the front to our west. It might stay to our north. It might move in earlier in weekend. It might stay later into the overnight hours. Either way, just make sure you have an ability between the evening hours Saturday and until Sunday morning to have weather alerts direct to your phone that can notify you, that can even potentially wake you up. Make sure you have the notification set to on. So again, I don't want to promote fear or anything, but I also want to emphasize the risks with systems like these, while also emphasizing the fact that this could miss us entirely. I'd rather have my forecast bust and to make sure you're prepared than not talk about it at all and then have it happen. Either way, we got sunshine for Saturday. It's not too bad of a day. Weather aware Saturday evening through Sunday. We're watching this pass over us. Then by Sunday morning, lingering thunderstorms and drizzle and clouds turn to sunshine by the afternoon and very humid conditions, high temperatures climbing into the mid-80s. Your 7-day forecast, we continue to see those humid and hot conditions arrive by Monday and Tuesday. Monday's heat index likely approaching 100 degrees. So
wow.
It's going to be very warm next week. And I mentioned previously, let's hope there's no storm damage from this. There's no power outages, because the last thing you want is having no power and then a heat wave.
Yeah,
So.
a lot of people tuning in over the next few days. Eric, thanks. Reaction to the long-awaited verdict in the murder?
Changes on the horizon. We lost the humidity.
Yeah.
But now we have to look at some threats for the weekend.
Yeah, there's some new information that came in earlier today, and this is specifically for Saturday night. So what's happening is there's a push of warm air, a warm front. We're going to see this transition from the cool weather we saw today to the high heat that we're expecting early next week. And along this transition, some of our computer models are suggesting there could be some powerful storms that fire up. This is going to be overnight on Saturday into early Sunday morning, and it's not set in stone. This is just one of the thoughts that's out there, but we just want people to be aware of this, and we want you to check back for updates. So we're kind of putting out a preliminary alert day for this overnight period, because again, with the high humidity in place, there's going to be a lot of energy, and if these storms do materialize, they could be in business. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. It's quiet out there this evening. Weather is going to be pretty nice here for the majority of the weekend. 71 degrees is the current temperature. It's comfortable out there. We're going to stay in the upper 60s to low 70s this evening. The heat is on as we head into early next week. We're tracking some of the latest temperatures and how long this is going to last to look at the forecasts coming up. Kristen, back to you.
All right, Bill, thank you. Shut-off notices have gone out. Water bills remain in
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. Happy Friday. Happy first day of summer. It is going to be a lot warmer here and a lot more humid as we head into the weekend. We're also tracking the possibility of strong storms. And in all transparency, there's a lot of conflicting data that we're looking at Saturday night into Sunday. But in the more stronger scenarios, storms develop and they could produce some very strong winds. This would happen Saturday night into early Sunday morning. 2 to 5 a.m. seems to be the timing here. And with such a high humidity environment, these storms could certainly last into the night. They don't need the sun to get going. And this is one of those scenarios that we have to keep checking on and give you updates as we head throughout the weekend, because this is not one of those slam dunk scenarios. With that said, you can also get updates on the weather with your weather app. If you download our Storm Tracker 2 weather app, you'll get alerts to your phone if anything does develop over the weekend. Other than the storms overnight, I think most of the weekend looks pretty nice. Partly sunny skies Saturday, 85. We did bump up Sunday to 90. It's been trending warmer and more humid with this warm front lifting through. There could be some storms very early Sunday morning, but I think a lot of those will move out and it should be a pretty nice day. And again, it's going to be a lot less comfortable than it is outside currently. In fact, what a beautiful day. It was very gloomy this morning, but wow, the sun came out, the breeze kicked in, and it's been a really nice afternoon, especially if you're trying to do any sort of yard work, any kind of exercise. Pretty comfortable conditions will continue throughout this evening. Dry in the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Look at this heat index going forward. Remember, the heat index factors in the humidity. We're talking about temperatures for several days feeling like the 90s. In fact, by Monday, the hottest day of the stretch, it could be feeling like triple digits. Even Tuesday, 97 for the heat index. So pretty intense heat on the way as we head into early next week. Again, things look quiet for now. We are tracking a warm front to the west. This is going to be the focus for the weekend. Heading into tonight, it's partly cloudy. Overnight lows drop down into the upper 50s. Nice start to Saturday, sunshine in the morning. Heading into Saturday night, that's when this warm front could kick off some thunderstorms. And again, during the overnight, this round rolls right through, producing some thunder and lightning, and again, some gusty winds are possible. Sunday morning, some residual showers from this, but the idea is we dry out and we start to warm up, and we could be baking in the afternoon. Look at this. By later in the day, temperatures could be close to 90 degrees. Partly cloudy skies tonight, 58 for the overnight low. Tomorrow, partly sunny. It does turn more humid later in the day, but you're really going to notice this on Sunday. Again, an alert day for Saturday night, back-to-back alert days Monday and Tuesday. Saturday night for the storms, Monday and Tuesday for the heat. Temperatures climb into the mid-90s. This heat does break at some point Wednesday. Showers and thunderstorms linger into Thursday and Friday. But yeah, summer coming in hot.
Well done.
It's getting hotter every time we see you.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Bill. The official start of summer, Bill Curtis.
Another thing to keep in mind with this hot weather coming is the pavement and walking your dog. You want to make sure you're not walking your dog during the heat for obvious reasons. But one thing that I think a lot of people don't think about is the pavement itself and how hot it can get on days where temperatures climb into the 90s, especially this time of the year. Today's the first day of summer. The sun is the highest that it will be in the sky all year, and it's producing a lot of energy. And it is downright dangerous to take your dog out for a walk when temperatures are in the 90s here. Your pet's paws can burn in 5 minutes or less. So you want to avoid that during the day. Perhaps take the walk early or late in the evening time after the sun starts getting lower in the horizon. It gets much more comfortable. Temperatures, again, are going to be very, very warm here during this stretch. We'll be in the 90s, probably a heat wave. We can hit 90 on Sunday and or Wednesday. This could potentially be a 4-day heat wave if this were to come together. But either way, it's going to be hot. Dry out there this evening, comfortable. Get your walk in this evening. It's going to be comfy. Temperatures will be in the low 70s, sunshine. Tonight's featured dog is Vino from Rome. And if you want to be part of this, head to Skycast WKTV on Facebook. This is brought to you by Nissan. Kristen, back to you.
Bill, thank you. Almost a year after a tornado, rebuilding continues.
The Rome Historical Society is keeping it local. A roof was damaged in the storm, so they're now being restored. The first pieces of Revere copper roofing were put in place just today. The museum on Church Street is hoping to stay open through the whole process. That's going to wrap up the end of summer.
Happening tomorrow, a new nonprofit called
Children's Miracle Drawing Ticket in person. Just stop by these local Walmart locations from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. They'll be on site accepting cash, check, or credit card. So come get your Children's Miracle Drawing Ticket before they're gone.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We've got some hot weather on the way. We're also keeping an eye on Saturday night. As a warm front rolls through, there is the possibility that it could bring strong storms. The verdict is still out on this one. We're looking at and we're pouring through model data tonight, and some of them say this could be pretty serious with some pretty strong winds, and there are several others that say this might not even happen at all. I know that doesn't help you, but this is something that we are following here tonight, and so we're kind of taking the cautious route of, hey, there's something we've got to watch here for Saturday night. We will keep you updated throughout the weekend should this materialize. Again, this warm front could produce some stronger weather. This would be overnight Saturday into very early Sunday morning. A reminder, you can always get our information on your phone with our Storm Tracker 2 weather app. If there are any watches or warnings over the weekend, you can instantly get them to your phone. Weekend forecast, aside from Saturday night, actually looks like a pretty nice weekend. It's looking very warm and partly sunny. And while this will, on paper, probably go down as another wet weekend with some rain at Saturday night, I think the majority of it looks nice. And look at Sunday. That's trending warmer too, and that's also trending a lot more humid. In fact, Sunday could be day one of our heat wave if we can get to 90 degrees, which we might. Reminder, it's not too late to put in the air conditioner. I know I put one of my units in today, one of my window units in, because again, look at this. It's going to be very warm here. We're looking at temperatures in the 90s as we head into early next week. Live look in Oneonta, temperature of 72 degrees, a very comfortable day to be outside. It was a little gloomy this morning, but it certainly turned out nice. And again, we're expecting dry weather this evening. Heat's on. Again, for the weekend, it starts to ramp up Sunday. Heat index of 93. With the humidity, it's going to feel close to 100 on Monday. The heat index still stays in the 90s for a good portion of early next week. Skywatchers, Whitesboro 72, Barneveld 68, Curtis 66, Jeff and Mohawk 72, and Worcester with 74, Cooperstown, Stewart 71 degrees. The next weather system that we're watching is a warm front. That's separating the cooler, more comfortable weather today compared to the heat and humidity that's building to the west, and that will arrive as we head into the weekend. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, overnight lows in the upper 50s. Beautiful day tomorrow, partly sunny skies. Temperatures climb into the mid-80s. Watch what happens Saturday night. This line of storms drops in from the north. This, again, is just one idea of what could happen. Some of our models are not even showing this. We're pushing it to our north and east. But again, we'll keep an eye on that for Saturday night. Sunday, partly sunny skies, very warm. Temperatures could be close to 90. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 58. Tomorrow, partly sunny, turning more humid, 85. Again, watching Saturday night, potential of storms. Sunday looking dry, 90 degrees. Alert days for Monday and Tuesday due to the heat and humidity. Again, temperatures in the 90s. The heat wave starts to break down Wednesday. Thunderstorms possible. Cooler weather, highs in the low 80s Thursday and Friday. We'll be right back.
Forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
So we have hot weather on the way as we head into the weekend. There is a new development that we just started seeing here over the past 24 hours, and that is for Saturday night into Sunday. There is the chance that we could get some storms that develop, and if that's the case, they could be on the strong side, producing wind damage. We want you to check back for updates because, again, there's a lot of conflicting data here, but we're going to put out an alert day for Saturday night into Sunday and ask folks to check in with us throughout the weekend for the latest. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Things are looking quiet. Temperature is 72 degrees. A nice drop in the humidity. A kind of a gloomy start to the day, but it's turning out to be really nice this evening. We're looking at partly sunny skies. Generally nice for the weekend, at least during the days. The heat is on for early next week. We're tracking those hot temperatures coming up. Kristen, back to you.
Local health officials are warning about the
WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. Happy Friday. Happy first day of summer. It is going to feel a lot more like summer as we head into the weekend. Beautiful day today, but things are changing. And with this change comes some weather that we're tracking. This is for Saturday night into early Sunday. Some of our computer guidance suggests that there could be some powerful storms that develop overnight, but the jury is still out. There's still a lot of question marks as to whether this will affect us or areas to the north. Should this materialize, this could bring some wind damage to our area Saturday night into early Sunday. We're going to keep you posted on this. We're asking folks to check back with us throughout the weekend. Meteorologist James DeFazio in Saturday morning and Saturday evening with the latest. You can download our Storm Tracker 2 weather app. You can get instant weather alerts to your phone. The weekend forecast is looking generally nice aside from that storm threat overnight. I think most of it looks dry. If you have any outdoor plans, for the most part, sunshine is expected, 85 on Saturday. Things are trending warmer for Sunday. Look at that, 90 degrees with high levels of humidity that has been trending warmer throughout the week, and I think we might be able to hit 90 if we get enough sunshine. We might have some storms in the morning, but they should clear out later in the day, and sunshine should follow. By the way, this was spotted yesterday in Rome. Turns out that was a funnel cloud, a very brief one formed. We tracked some rotation on the radar at this exact moment. This picture comes from Julie Wilson. There are actually several folks that spotted that around 8 o'clock yesterday evening. Thankfully, it didn't touch down, didn't do any damage, but a little scary sight for a brief moment of time yesterday. Live look at downtown Utica, 72 degrees. We are tracking one lone thunderstorm just south of Geneva that's heading to the south. It's not going to hit us. And we're expecting the weather to stay dry locally. Hot weather on the way. The heat index expected to climb well into the 90s here as we head into early next week. Comfortable weather this evening. Enjoy it while it lasts. Whitesboro 72 degrees. Norway 69. Cooperstown, Stewart checking in with 71. The next weather system to track is a warm front that approaches from the west. And again, tonight the weather looks pretty quiet. Partly cloudy skies. Overnight lows in the upper 50s. Most of Saturday looks dry. But watch what happens Saturday night. A line of storms drops in from the north, and that moves through overnight, producing the potential of some windy conditions. And again, that's something we'll be following throughout the weekend. Partly cloudy skies tonight, low 58. Tomorrow, partly sunny. It turns more humid later in the day, but you're really going to notice the change Sunday. Again, we'll watch out for storms Saturday night. Back-to-back alert days Monday and Tuesday due to the high levels of heat and humidity. this should start to break and cool down as we head into the middle of next week.
All right, Bill, thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Still to come on News Channel 2. The news with First Weather. Yes, we're going to talk about an alert day. Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis joining us right off the top. Tomorrow, why should we be concerned?
It's tomorrow night. There's the chance that we could have a couple of stronger storms. We're watching a warm front come through. These are pretty tricky to try to figure out where storms develop along this, but with the high levels of heat and humidity, these could produce some strong winds. So we want to give people a heads up as we're getting ready for the weekend. I think most of the weekend looks dry, but it's what happens tomorrow night that's getting our attention, again, with the possibility of some severe weather. We'll have a look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Things look pretty quiet across the region. Temperature-wise, it's been cooling off, 62 degrees, clear skies, light winds. It should be a pretty comfortable night. Temperatures will drop down into the upper 50s, but again, it's all about the heat. We are tracking much warmer weather ahead. Temperatures look to climb into the 90s here as we head into early next week. But again, tonight, overnight lows drop into the upper 50s. Pretty comfortable conditions out there. Enjoy it while it lasts because, again, it's looking very hot here as we head into the end of the weekend. Look at the forecast that's coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. With that oppressive weather on the way for Monday.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. Welcome back. We're getting you ready for the weekend. It is looking to bring a lot more heat and humidity, especially by Sunday. Also could have a couple of storms. The severe weather outlook does bring the chance of a few thunderstorms to our area Saturday night and into early Sunday morning. The jury's still out here. There's a lot of conflicting data. Some models say that we could have some pretty strong storms Saturday night. Others say nothing at all. And just looking at some of the new models, there's nothing conclusive tonight. So just we want folks to be aware of this. We're going to look at some of the new data tomorrow. Meteorologist James DeFazio will have an update on this tomorrow morning as well as tomorrow evening. If things do start to materialize, again, we'll have to keep an eye on that. Also, you can keep track of the weather, too, by downloading our Storm Tracker 2 weather app. You get instant alerts on your phone. Overall, it looks like a pretty nice weekend. Temperatures climb into the mid-80s on Saturday. Sunday could be close to 90 degrees. Again, it looks like the chance of storms will be overnight here as a warm front rolls through. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Again, things look pretty quiet tonight. Pretty comfortable out there, but again, that's going to change. The heat index is going to climb into the mid-80s tomorrow, into the low 90s on Sunday. We could be talking about triple-digit heat indices for Monday. Remember, the heat index factors in the humidity along with the heat, and this is what our body feels. 97 Tuesday and then 94 on Wednesday. Air temperatures will be in the mid-90s. So it's going to be quite the stretch of pretty intense heat here for early next week. Bigger picture shows some quiet weather to our west, tracking a warm front that'll roll in. Some pretty strong weather in the Great Plains towards North Dakota. That's what we're going to be watching here as we head into the next 24 hours. Tonight, things look pretty quiet. Overnight lows drop down into the upper 50s. Tomorrow, most of the day looks dry, partly sunny skies. Temperatures climb into the low to mid 80s. Tomorrow night, we are watching that warm front that could spark off a round of thunderstorms dropping in from the north. Again, Skycast says we get it. A lot of these other models say we don't. So again, we'll have to keep you posted. Partly cloudy skies tonight, 58 for the overnight low. Partly sunny, warm and humid tomorrow, 85. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. A lot more humidity later in the weekend and into early next week. Back-to-back alert days, Monday and Tuesday, due to the heat. Thunderstorms arrive for the middle of the week with cooler weather with highs in the 80s.
Yeah, so stay cool and hydrate.
Yes.
All right, thank you, sir. Coming up next, water warning service.
News with Jason Pallas.
We'll get to those stories in just a moment, though. First, Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis tracking an alert day for tomorrow evening. What do we have to expect?
So we're watching the possibility of thunderstorms tomorrow night as a warm front arrives. The jury's still out as to whether or not these storms are going to form in the first place. But if they do, they have potential of producing some pretty damaging winds. So we've got this alert day out for tomorrow night. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to materialize. But again, for folks that are going to be out and about tomorrow evening, this would be late. This would be after 10 o'clock. These storms could be rolling through the region tomorrow night. Again, so for an alert day for that. The bigger story is the heat that builds in behind this, and it looks pretty intense. Live look at the Airfield Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. It's quiet out there tonight, cooling off. Temperatures have settled back into the 50s here with mostly clear skies. About as cool as we'll get tonight. All about warmer weather here. We're into the mid-80s tomorrow, close to 90 on Sunday, and then a heat wave. Temperatures in the mid-90s Monday and Tuesday. This is the air temperature. It's going to feel a lot hotter than that with the humidity. Tonight, overnight lows drop down into the upper 50s. Pretty comfortable night for sleeping, but those comfortable nights will be going away here for the next several days. We're tracking very humid conditions ahead. A look at the forecasts coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. With the oppressive weather on the
WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We're keeping an eye on the forecast for Saturday night into Sunday. We're tracking a warm front. There could be some storms that develop and move along the front. Should that be the case, these could produce some damaging winds. The jury is still out as if this is even going to happen in the first place locally. Just look at some of the latest computer guidance, and some of it is pushing it well to the north. Some of it isn't materializing. So there are things that we're still going to be monitoring very closely here over the next 12 to 24 hours. Meteorologist James DeFazio will have an update on this tomorrow with the latest. But again, if going to bed Saturday night, you might want to keep an eye on things. We could have some storms, and if they do materialize, damaging winds would be possible. You get weather information by downloading our Storm Tracker 2 weather app, and throughout the weekend, I think most of it's going to be pretty nice. Partly sunny skies on Saturday, 85 degrees. It's turning very humid Sunday. We could be close to 90, and again, if these storms materialize, they would be around very early Sunday morning. We'll get a chance to see sunshine throughout Sunday afternoon. Live look at the Airfield Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. All is quiet across the region. Enjoy a comfortable night because it is not going to feel comfortable here over the next 7 days. Looking at the heat index in the upper 80s tomorrow, low 90s Saturday, triple digits on Monday, 97 Tuesday, 94 Wednesday. So we are talking about some pretty intense heat that's going to last for several days heading into early next week. We're tracking a warm front moving in from the west. There's some pretty violent weather with this system that stretches into North Dakota tonight. And again, we'll be keeping an eye on that. Storm Tracker 2 Skycast tonight. Overnight lows drop down into the upper 50s. Tomorrow, again, most of the day looks pretty nice, partly sunny skies. Tomorrow night, watch what happens on Skycast here. It's going to show a round of storms dropping in from the north. Widespread. Skycast is one of the outliers here. But again, we are taking this seriously enough where we're going to have to be watchful here and vigilant Saturday night as these potential storms could drop in from the north. Sunday afternoon, things improve. It is looking very warm here Sunday, close to 90. Partly cloudy tonight, low of 58. Tomorrow, partly sunny, a little bit more humid, 85 for the high. The humidity really ramps up on Sunday, 90 degrees. Back-to-back alert days, Monday and Tuesday for the high heat and humidity. Temperatures in the mid-90s. Showers, thunderstorms possible Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. The heat does break as we head towards the end of the week. We'll be right back.